So of course, everything interesting always happens the day that I post a vlog, right? So, yesterday I put in these two black bars in the middle to help support the net, and then if I put two more over here, then I can make one of those fancy cattle panel trellises that everybody makes on the cheap in here too. It wasn't too hard to do that, actually. I had ordered an auger last year when I thought that I was going to have to put up this fencing around the garden myself, but then the people who put in the fence line around the property said that they'd put it up for free because I already had all of the materials. So it's been sitting in my shed for a year. I put it together yesterday, and these holes are about 2 feet deep, and it wasn't that bad, actually. So I'm thinking I'll put something in the top just to space them apart so they don't accidentally start wobbling and pulling apart or together or something, but lumber is kind of expensive right now. If the price drops again, then maybe I'll get a nice pressure treated post or something, like probably what the corners of this veggie garden cage are made out of, and screw it in there, because these have those holes on the edge too. Maybe I'll get a 2x4 or something and put it at the top, because putting some dowels in there too wouldn't be a bad idea, because then if I plant some beans or something on there, it'll be a good trellis for it. Even though if I had a wall of stuff growing right here, then maybe it'll shade out the rest of the garden, even though this is lined up almost perfectly north to south, so it wouldn't make that much shade, but for the time being, just having them in is good. So I had one of those canary beans sprout here, but overnight the slugs ate the growth point, so I pulled it out. So there isn't going to be one in this corner. Thanks, horrible slugs. Yesterday morning when it was raining and slightly warmer than it is now, it is so cold today. Surprise cold snap. Night in the 40s. I think it's going to be 45 tonight, and today I think the high is going to be like 53 or 55, which is horrible for my poor melons and pumpkins and everything. So yesterday it was raining in the morning and cold, so I'm pretty sure I picked off like 40 slugs and then threw them in the last slug deer trap that I have right here. At this point it's probably like 90% slug, 10% deer. So I got rid of all the other slug traps, and I'm like a 5-minute walk from a fire station. So I got rid of all the other slug traps so that I could use the jars as little mini terrariums. So I put that okra here and I put a jar over it to try to keep it warmer. I think it's one of those things that likes it warmer, but I'm not sure. I realized a little bit too late, after I'd already run out of jars, that the eggplants that I have in that bed probably want it warmer too, but I mean, hopefully this doesn't set everything back too far. This onion, you can sort of see the little buds inside through the skin on that sheath on the flower head, so I'm excited. Hopefully soon I'll have a nice big onion bloom. The chive bloom still looks good. One of them is still falling over. So I put jars over the ground cherries too, so the slugs don't get all of them. I planted a bunch of nasturtiums and more pink dandelions here that haven't come up yet because it was only like 2 or 3 days ago. These beans have come up, so that is the dragon's tongue. And then these are from seeds that I got last year for my plants, and they look kind of whitish seeded. And the dragon's tongue ones are kind of like a creamy pink with purple spots, and these ones were kind of whitish, so I think they were out of those, I always get it wrong, Barlottos from Italy, Barlotto de Vigvano or something like that. So same with these. So I just planted what I got in seeds from last year just to see if they'd sprout or not. So looks like I'll have at least 8 bush bean plants. I'm excited. Man, the slugs really got to this. Hopefully they start leaving this stuff alone. Jeez. The last 2 of those scallop squash should come up. I don't know if you can see through those jars. They're just little baby seedlings, so I'm keeping that on just to keep them warmer. The peas are enjoying this, so fine. I left a jar over the smallest of these guys. It's either acorn or butternut squash. Here's one of those canary beans that made it and didn't get eaten overnight. So hopefully it, I don't know, it's not warm out, but I'm hoping it grows today and opens those leaves before it gets eaten by slugs. Otherwise I might have to move some of these jars off of the other plants and put it on there so I even get any of those beans. I guess bad timing on my part, right? Versus nature. So I'm excited to have pods progressing along on this mustard. I'm gonna save some to replant or maybe let it replant itself, but then I'll have mustard seed as a spice because I guess I love every part of that plant. Maybe I'll pick these radishes finally tomorrow now that it's been nice and cold, so maybe they'll unhot themselves. What bug is that? Well, the praying mantises will probably take care of it. Don't know what that guy is either. I don't know if this will focus on it. Well, the praying mantises will take care of it. This is an okra too that I just put in a little jar terrarium. I think this might be my only surviving parsley, but I mean, fine as long as I have one and it doesn't get completely eaten by the bugs, and then it can reseed itself. So I didn't think I have cutworms, but then the bottoms of nearly everything that I transplanted outside look kind of withered and strangled, so maybe I did have cutworms. I'm glad I started a lot of stuff inside. So I had planted more of those canary beans, but they haven't come up yet everywhere, but maybe that's good because it's kind of cold. My one surviving plant of that bloody dock. So I cut back a bunch of flower stems on this sorrel this morning. I'm just letting it kind of become one with the mulch, like the last batch I cut off. This bed is still small. I wish it were warmer. I have all the peppers under terrariums. I am completely out of jars other than really small spice jars that don't fit anything out here. The beets are barely coming up. I only had 2 of them come up. I think maybe another one of the watermelons came up. I guess I'll see when its first real leaves come out. Most of the cucumbers are still a little bit too small. They have their first real leaf, but no more than that. And when they only have one, I think the slugs still eat the one that's growing in. So I left jars on most of them. These ones are further along. I think these might have been the orange ones, but I'm not sure. Man, something is really going after my beans. I think I'm gonna have to check their leaves after I get done with this. Yep, the potatoes are coming along nicely. That salmon berry still hasn't done anything. And then the elderberry and one of the haskaps that came sort of with leaves that died back still looks pretty dead. So I guess I'll let the company know. They have a, if it didn't thrive by July, then we'll give you a credit policy. So maybe I'll have like a, I don't know, $60 or $70 credit, but that's good because there's some stuff that I want to buy from them for next year. I don't know if I showed you last time. I have 1 gooseberry. I also have 1 currant at the end over there. I guess I wasn't really expecting for fruit out of these things this year, but one is kind of hilarious. Oh, I wanted to show you the flava. Looks real good. And then I trimmed out last year's pictures from the Umlaftiana, so it has more room to grow. So hopefully it fills in nicely. I was tucking the pictures into the metal hoops thing for a while, but I mean, the plant kind of splays anyway, so it's fine. I got rid of, there was that big pot there that just had tomato seedlings because all of the passion fruits that I had gotten last year died back, which is why I got these guys as a replacement. So I gave that to the neighbors a couple houses down because I guess a rabbit had gotten into their veggie garden before they realized and eaten everything and eaten all of their tomato seedlings. So they have replacements now, even though I have so many popping up in the garden that I could give them away to the whole entire block and I'd still have too many. So I lost a couple pitcher plants. I guess I'll empty out their pots later. Not today, it's too cold. I can barely feel my hands. But that's on my list of things to do. Those are those rose seedlings. So there's a couple pots there that nothing has started yet. I'll give it another month. Same with those berry bushes till like July to see what comes up. So I'll clean out all of the dead, well, I think I sprinkled Venus flytrap seeds on a lot of that stuff, but I've seen slugs going through there. Hopefully they didn't eat whatever seedlings there were. So, sorry Warren, that cobra died. I'm going to be getting rid of that pot. There's a Venus flytrap that didn't come back this year, so I'll be cleaning out that pot. And I don't know if any of the sundews that I gotten last year or the seeds that I planted in there are actually doing anything. This was my seedling Venus flytrap pot. Nothing has come up yet. I'm sad. I'm not even, because I moved it to this from the deli container that it's sitting in that it was originally potted in, and I don't know if like slugs ate it or they haven't woken up yet or what, but it was my first Venus flytrap seedlings that I grew from seeds for my own plants, and I don't know. I guess I'll get seed again this year from all of the flower stalks on those and try again or something. Even though goodness knows I have too many plants anyway. Yeah, that plant looks nice. Makes up for the ones that I lost, I think. Oh, tiny little horseradish leaf. I know that there was a piece of horseradish root at least this big in there, so I don't know what's making such tiny leaves, but fine. And I hope I finally get that nice blue arch trellis from gardeners. Last year when something didn't show up and it was on a delay of a month, they ended up emailing me, oh sorry, we're out and we're not ordering anymore, so you're not getting it. So I hope that doesn't happen again. But if it does, then I'll put in the other posts here and make a trellis here and grow these here. Fine. Okay. Wow, this actually ended up being 12 minutes. Nice. So, vlog done for the week. It should be hotter in the next week, and then hopefully my garden takes off even more to be the jungle of my dreams. Okay.